Hello, everybody. Whoa, is that mine snap?
I don't know.
The computer was locked, but then he figured it out.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, yeah.
Well, hello, everyone.
Hey,
Welcome
guys.
to another episode of Hunt for the Paranormal Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should probably put those on.
Yeah. Get off the phone with the boss, yo.
As always, I'm Jose Anaya.
Mike Padilla.
Acidic Aaron.
There you go. See?
Ooh.
How adorable. Ooh, what is that noise? They're not like that at all.
No,
That's weird. That's
Oh,
weird.
wait. No, I have a new name. Mikey Myers from Azig Aaron.
I'm still just Jose.
I felt left out. No, I felt left out because everybody has a fucking cool nickname, yo.
Mine's Hooray for Jose.
Yeah, hooray for Jose, Acidic Aaron. Matt has Matt the Rat and fucking Young Tim. And then, yeah, I kind of felt left out.
Is that
Oh,
his
it's
name?
French
Young
Canadian
Tim?
Tim.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think.
French Canadian Tim.
But yeah, back on paranormal stuff. Sorry about that.
Yeah, side tangent. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a little extra for you guys. It's all good.
Yeah.
Nothing-
Just so you that
no
we're
big
not too
deal.
seriously.
I'm never serious.
We're never fucking serious.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So you wanted to start this one out with the little story there.
Oh, yeah. Since last time we kind of started off with the shadow people. And
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I actually
I
have
love
one
shadow
more
people.
story
Yeah.
about that. One time, I was probably 14 or so. I used to go to Camp Chinook for diabetics. And
Sorry to interrupt. Where the hell is that?
up in Big Bear.
Oh, okay. Got
It's
it.
not
Yeah.
too bad.
So it's pretty cool. It used to be a big, what's it called, a YMCA camp first
Okay.
before it burned down, and then they rebuilt it back in like the 50s as a diabetic camp.
It burned
And they
down.
used to tell us a story, like all kinds of like weird stuff. Like I guess there was the crash landing in the mountain up there where the person
Which I
became
heard about
albino.
that story. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they would kind of tease that, and there's a lot of just bad blood out in there, and they think maybe that started it. But one day, this was back before I started talking to girls. I was chubby, and I met this girl there.
You're so cute, chubby guy to me, though.
Yeah, and she was a little strange. She kind of told me a lot. Like she committed suicide at times and tried, and she was on these like pills and heard voices, and I just kind of gave her the benefit of the doubt, and she's like, okay, well, let's see where this goes, because she was saying she could see them.
Yeah.
Or see these spirits, whereas I could kind of radar it and have a feeling like, okay,
Oh,
something's
damn.
in that direction. So I was like, oh, okay, well, like, not just, being a dick about it and just being like, okay, well, fuck it, let's go. We got a couple hours.
Let's go check it out.
Yeah, it was pretty much like my first
see what
paranormal
can
hunt.
happen.
Yeah, so she'd be like this, and then I'm like, oh, something's in that direction. And then she'd start like word by word describing them. This one's a child, this one's this, and
That's
it
fucking
was a little
crazy.
strange.
Yeah.
So by the end of the night later on, before we would go back to our cabins, as diabetics, we would all be checking our blood sugars. And
Yeah.
if you're not sure, it could be anything. All kids have different
Levels, yeah.
levels, prescriptions. So it's completely random and different depending on. And she came up to me, to my table, as I was checking the blood, and it was counting down like 5, 4, 3, 2. And as she's like, it's counting down, she's saying, hey, I think those ghosts lowered my blood sugar because it's 63. And as she was saying that, it counted down, and my blood sugar was exactly 63. So it was a little strange. It's
Yeah,
kind of like my
that's
own
weird.
personal proof
Yeah.
that kind of thing is real, because we're on completely different insulins and different like logs. We ate completely different things. We're completely different sizes. There's no possible way that we can be the same blood sugar.
That's crazy. By any chance, do you
Yeah,
still have
that's-
communication with this chick?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just no. Just a big no.
That's
But
great.
then after that, and like at the same camp, I remember there was this one time we were doing pranks, right?
Yeah.
And we were setting up like strings of cans, stranded cans.
Yeah,
So it was kind of like, they opened the door, it's going to make a lot of noise. So we all separated into went to each cabin. And as we were setting it up in front of the doors, I was just keeping an eye out.
Yeah.
And around the corner of the cabin, like, because we're at the front door and there's just like a little cabin right here. And on the side of it, kind of looked like someone like looked over and out, like just over the side, like as if he's looking over the corner,
Like a Michael Myers thing.
yeah, kind of, and that, and then like I thought it was automatically a counselor or something
Yeah.
like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, someone's here, run! And we ran around that direction and turned the corner. And as we turned the corner, there was nobody there, but I saw it, like it was just straight black outline.
That's
and I thought it was
crazy.
a person at the time, but then we walked right by and nothing was there.
That's
weird.
crazy.
How old were you?
Probably between 10 and 14.
Yeah, that would have freaked me the fuck out.
So since we missed you last week on last episode,
sorry about that.
But,
family stuff.
it's all good. It's all good, bro. Have you ever had any experience with shadow people?
I don't know if they'd be shadow people. Like, I guess I've seen things out of the corner of my eye. I can't say if it was shadow people or not.
Okay, fair enough.
I've seen stuff like that, but it hasn't happened like often, like enough for me to be like, oh yeah, I've experienced this kind of stuff.
Okay.
It's just been once in a while.
Yeah.
Random thing here and there. You know, sometimes in the dark, where especially like most of the houses I've had anyway, there's always like a lot of traffic in the front.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like a car passing by and
Always
like
noise.
the light might hit something
Okay,
or hit a tree in
yeah.
the front. So I don't know.
Huh, okay.
So I don't know. I always look for different explanations of things.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of like have you ever heard anything?
Oh, heard like what do you mean like hear things like footsteps?
Footsteps, voices, anything.
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
I've heard a voice on the side of my like on my right side once. I don't know if I already told the story here.
Yeah, on our first episode, on our
Yeah.
intro.
So if you guys recall, like I heard someone say "hey," like just "hey." I was like, "What?" and just looked around. That's
Yeah.
the only voice I've ever heard. But I've heard a lot of footsteps in my house, like all the time. Just
So you could
footsteps
be
everywhere.
more in the sense of like, because you know clairvoyance, and there's actually the words of a clairaudience where you can't see it, but you do hear it.
Oh yeah.
You know, so there's so many different levels of it. So like I don't know, I've seen it here and there.
Sometimes people just say it's the house settling, which I don't think so because every time I hear the footsteps, the doorknobs always start moving and stuff, and like you can feel it like pulling, and there's no wind.
House settling is kind of really difficult to like. That's not really.
I mean, this is one of the older houses. Like this house was built like in probably 30s, 40s.
Well, the same thing in the place I live in. Same thing, like in the in those early times.
Yeah.
But you can tell the sound is very distinguished when a house is settling. It's the same thing like when a car is settling. After a while, it gets stopped. Like when me and you went to fucking Santa Paula.
Yeah.
The sound of a car settling, my car was settling. That was a very distinguished sound.
Your car settles pretty loud though.
Like, oh, that's true. But
but I get what you're saying. Though.
But it's like footsteps are like footsteps.
Yeah, you can tell footsteps.
It's I don't know.
Yeah,
That's the one thing I haven't heard yet. It's footstep. Oh no, I take that back. You're going up the stairs in fucking Washington.
Footsteps are creepy to hear. But I think random knocks are even worse than footsteps.
See, I haven't experienced that yet.
Well, my mom,
I've heard, and it's all been knocks in increments of 3 every single time.
That's trip.
Yeah, my sister's heard it multiple times. My mom's heard it like once or twice, and I've heard it multiple times.
I have a question. So anybody can look this up really quick. Is wormwoods? Are they common in Southern California?
Wormwood?
Yeah.
or like the wood.
Isn't it like a bug that eats away at wood, kind of like termites type of thing?
Yeah. So pretty much wormwoods are the ones that actually create that knocking sound in wood. So there's that whole mytho. When you hear 3 knocks
Yeah.
in the wood, that means someone's gonna die in the house.
Well, that's great.
But that's all the whole mytho on them.
Yeah, I've never heard that before in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, I'm such a fucking animal geek then.
Yeah, I've never heard of that ever.
Yeah, so they pretty much burrow inside, especially in like houses made out of wood and whatnot, because that's like one of their main primes, the larvae.
Well, it says, their name's like what? Artemisia
Oh, that's their Latin name.
phoenocephala?
Yeah, Artemisia
wormwood.
phoenocephala.
Yeah, it's common names for beach wormwood. So yeah, I'm sure in California. Yeah, it extends from Central Oregon to Southern California.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, they could be around.
it could be.
Well,
But
there's one.
I don't know,
debunk if anything, check for wormwood.
Yeah, but inside a door, I don't think a wormwood would sound like.
That, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it'll
Okay,
sound
maybe.
like that because it's not just like a. No, it's
Okay, I never
Half a
heard of
knock.
wormwood before,
yeah.
but yeah, there's a
Yeah,
possibility.
I think I can tell if a worm was knocking at my door.
Hey, cabrones, I'm the same.
Open the door, fuckers.
Yeah, there was this one time in my old house that we grew up in. My mom told us like, "Hey, were you in the room earlier?" And she knew we weren't because she went and checked because she heard like kids playing.
Oh,
This was when I
God.
was younger and like walked in. No, she thought maybe the TV's on. Walks in and no one was there. But that, like, we never had much history of that happening. So it was just at one time, you know, of one of those occurrences out of 14 years.
Which is weird. I don't know. I don't know what to think when something happens once and it doesn't happen again. You're like, was my mind just messing with me, or did I really hear it, or
that's
did I really see it?
Like what we were saying in the first or the second episode, is like, it's, you know, if it was all based off like someone died here, well, every place would be haunted because we've died on every inch of land. So in that sense, like, it's just a matter of time or like condition of the person that's able to see it at that moment.
And do you believe that certain things can conduct energy?
Oh yeah,
or like can hold energy?
To me, well, my personal belief, everything contains energy. So from myself, this fucking Monster can, my glasses.
Well, yeah, it's an energy drink.
Fuck on, bro. but like,
I get what you mean, though.
But I think everything
except plastic.
Yeah, except plastic. Fucking
that's what I hear. Yeah.
But it's
who knows?
It's like that video I showed you, like that fucking giraffe.
Yeah, that one was weird.
Hey, what's the video of the draft?
Oh man, I wish you had your phone. Like, it was weird. There's this, it's a wooden giraffe, right, that the guy brought back.
Yeah, so this guy
from Africa.
Yeah, so the story pretty much, and they show the video, and it's a wooden giraffe from Africa, and after a while, like the family, the main household of the house started realizing hearing things and shit was going weird.
Yeah.
So you see him put a camera, I'm assuming like in his kitchen or something, facing into the fucking living room. And it takes a good minute because this is when we're driving back from
San Bernardino.
Yeah, back from San Bernardino. And so we're waiting. So Jose is like, dude, it's taking forever. I'm like, you have to fucking watch it. And he's like, all right. So I'm driving. And Jose's like, what the?
As you're driving.
I'm driving.
He's trying to drive and like trying to
watch
it.
So, I could have killed this. But you can see the head pop out of one corner. And it's like, and then all of a sudden it's go. You're like, no.
And then you can slowly.
Like a real giraffe or some toy giraffe?
No, it's like a wooden toy giraffe.
Yeah.
And like you see it, like you kind of see a little bit pop out behind a wall. Then it starts going more, and then more. Eventually, like the whole thing comes out. Pretty much.
It's like,
we'll when we post up the video of this podcast, we'll post the link
to it
under it too, so you guys can watch it.
For me, it's funny because when first time I watch it, it's like, oh, that's fucking creepy. And then and after the multiple times I watch it, I think of fucking Ace Ventura, the second one. And when he pops out, I'm like,
that'd probably be a good thing for us to do on the next episode.
Yeah,
like cursed objects or possessed objects.
Ooh, let us know what you guys think.
Maybe a new theme for like since Christmas and all, the gift giving season. What if you get a cursed object? You know,
and you don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, so maybe we can talk about the Warrens and their archive of
or what's the name of that
cursed
doll?
objects.
Annabelle?
No, the other one.
Well,
the Billy.
Well, the one that was pretty much based off of Annabelle. No.
That's
that
one's
like
a Raggedy Ann doll.
A Raggedy Ann doll. Well, I know.
There's a couple other. I know ones, like Charles the doll. I think,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
What about there's also one, I think it's in Mexico, where they don't know if it's an actual mannequin or if it's an actual woman.
The crying Barbie.
No. This one's like they don't know if it's a deceased woman.
Oh, it grows hair though, right?
It grows everything, like hair, nails. What was it? The backstory that the daughter died on her wedding day or some shit, and the mom like fucking.
She pretty much
fucking broke down and made a mannequin of her.
Yeah.
And so.
And they see it like move. And
and it moves. It literally
fingernails and hair grow or something.
Yeah.
So maybe we should. Yeah. Let's save this for another, because I know we'll get deep. We have some other stuff to talk about on this one.
Oh yeah, because we're gonna go over the Wendigo, cryptozoology.
Wendigo.
So with the Wendigo.
From
the Wendigo.
Marvel.
Yeah.
One of Wolverine's villains, and also the Hulk.
So much about it, man. Which I didn't know too much coming into it about the Wendigo until Aaron actually sent me the links about it and to actually check more out. You guys would probably get a better understanding of it from the video that you posted, which I think we can put the link of that too.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, we'll
sources.
Let's put that on our Facebook
in the description and all that stuff too. We'll put it in there.
And if you guys are not following our Facebook, hunt for the Paranormal Podcast on our Facebook. We'll post it on there too, so you guys can check it out.
Yeah, and be sure to follow us on my Instagram. I usually plug in and let you guys know what we're doing before we start recording.
We're not even Instagram friends.
No, you gotta put me on.
Acidic Aaron.
Acidic underline.
My name is
Aaron.
the same thing for everything.
Jose.
Hooray for Jose.
Hooray for Jose.
HURRAYFORJOSE. All one word.
Mine's just complete fucking awesome. It's the Great DePulio. Fucking _great _DePulio.
There you go. All right, so with the Wendigo.
Yeah.
Should I just read the description?
Yeah.
Go for
Well,
it.
I mean, it's kind of...
We'll just build off of
kind of long, but I'll kind of give a basics of it, right? All right. So this is from prairieghost.com, so you guys can check it out on there too. It's the Wendigo, North Woods of Minnesota. While this creature is considered by many to be the creation of horror writer Algernon Blackwood in his classic terror tale, The Wendigo, almost lost my spot. This wood spirit was and is a very real to many in the northern woods and prairies of the state. Many legends and stories have circulated over the years about the mysterious creature who was encountered by hunters and campers in the shadowy forest of the upper regions of Minnesota. In one variation of the story, the creatures could be seen if it faced the witness head-on because it was so thin and it could not be seen from the side. That is bizarre.
Yeah.
So it was pretty much like paper thin.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the the comic books and the Wendigos and that are more of like a white werewolf, whereas the actual one is more of a walking corpse.
Yeah, like a Skeletor type of thing.
Yeah, it's more. It's something that's falling apart, but it's very thin yet very durable.
Yeah,
like you can barely fight this thing if you came across it.
It depends on what culture, to be honest with you. That's the other thing too.
Which,
well, as our in-house Native American, let us know.
Well, okay, so there's no good. I think it's a good movie, but Matt would probably say it's not. But
he's a tough critic.
Yeah, he is. So
cat.
if you guys ever get a chance, it's called Ravenous.
I'll have to check it out.
It's based in the Rockies.
Mm-hmm.
During the early 1800s when the settlements come into California and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So in the Rockies, those nations themselves believe in that story of the legend of the Wendigo. So pretty much synopsis that homeboy falls, break his leg, and another homeboy's dead, and he's trying to keep himself warm. I'm not gonna go full length on the story or movie. So if you want to watch it. It's called Ravenous on Netflix. So pretty much, dead homeboy, he's there, and he's trying to survive, or survive, he's starting to get hungry. So fucking cannibalism on a dead corpse. He's like, so pretty much he gets out of this fucking pit like healed. Like, well, no broken leg, whatever. He gets back to pretty much back to the fourth, and one of the natives, he's like, Wendigo. He's like, oh, you give. Is it all? That's all you want is take. Pretty much that's what the Wendigo is. They just take. So one of the characters, he pulls out like pretty much like a scroll type of deal thing, but it's on leather, right? And he's showing this pretty much the pictograph of the Wendigo story, and the Wendigos look like a wolf type of little thing, like a ravenous wolf, but eating at people. So, which is funny because if you actually look throughout cultures that dealt with cannibalism, they go with the same thing. When you eat the flesh of your enemy, you feel their strength and you get stronger and whatnot.
Kind of. So you think it kind of feeds off? That's where kind of like the werewolf story came from.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Well, werewolf's a little kind of different.
Well, because in the video, it also saying that the way to kill it is with silver, like a silver stake or.
Well, that's also
is known as holy. It's supposed to bring out psychic probability. Like, it just enhances and it's pure.
Yeah,
just like it reflects the moon and the waters. So most demonic presences, vampires, or any kind of monster's weakness is silver.
It kind of derives from that story, but even as being Latin Americans, to be politically correct, fuck being political correct. But anyways, for us being Mexicans and whatnot, like our Aztec ancestors or our Mayan ancestors, also sacrificial.
Yeah, they did a lot of
and
sacrificing.
they even their stories said to even eating the heart or the flesh from our enemies, we grow stronger as
Or did the
people.
Aztecs do all that as well? Or
The Aztecs, the Mayans,
Right.
and the Incans did that
Yeah,
too.
they were all.
Dude, they're fucking badass. I don't give a fuck.
They're crazy.
Well, they would actually have like people that would
Volunteer to be
for it. That's
sacrificed.
what's crazy about
No,
that.
you know what's my favorite thing? Sorry to get really off topic about the fact that Aztecs, what the coolest thing they fucking do, like, they'll pick one guy who is the most fucking handsome guy ever, fucking gives him everything. This homeboy will live like a king for a while and fucking sacrifice his ass.
Yep.
Nope. Alright, so back to the Wendigo.
Yeah.
Alright, the spirit was said to have a voracious, right? Yeah, voracious
Yeah.
appetite for human flesh, and the many forest dwellers who disappeared over the years were said to be victims of the monster. The American Indians, Native Americans, had their own tale of the Wendigo, dating back so many years that most who were interviewed could not remember when the story had not been told. Damn. So they can't remember when it hasn't, so it's always been told.
Well, this is the story in the sense, like, even if you're like, that's what like the insatiable hunger is. It's like you're starving to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you chose to eat your fellow man.
So you're always going to
So
stay.
you're always going to be in that sense of starvation. You know, it's kind of like one of those fairy tales. You know, don't do this, otherwise this bad
This is
thing
gonna
will happen to
happen.
you. So it's been around for as long as we can think, and there's even the stories of when Zeus was someone tried to trick Zeus into eating some people from like the battle. So they tried to trick him and feed him human meat, and he didn't fall for it. And in return, it was like, I think the king Lycana or something like that. I'll list it down below. I'm gonna put up a picture. But when he found out, he turned and sentenced that king to become the first werewolf. And
Thus-
he became pretty much that. I think that's where the story pretty much
That's
started.
how the
or
Lycans were
one of the
born.
first rewritten stories is they all just changed more and more. And who's to say that story didn't travel with the natives or just go with
Yeah.
them?
Somebody had to have seen it. Somebody had to have either witnessed it or created that story.
Yeah.
True, yeah. And then, yeah, there's.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of it's based on, I want to say, well, yeah, I guess you could say facts. Where somebody ate somebody else
Well, that's
out of
the
pure
thing,
starvation
though.
and they just went crazy.
Or maybe they just have PTSD, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they could,
yeah,
that's what
but
I'm saying. Like
that's
they,
the
they
thing.
could have,
Took it, yeah,
yeah,
and
they
like-
could have been in a situation where they were starving. They didn't know how close the civilization was, so they
did what
they
they had to
resorted,
do,
they resorted to cannibalism, and that alone, having to cut up your family or loved ones and having to eat them, would drive any normal person fucking insane
Oh, yeah.
for a while.
Normal.
At least it'll
be
make someone
changed.
crazy, and so then I don't think they were ever just.
And that's why they took them, and like they would look at people like that as like beastly. If you eat it,
Yeah.
you become the
The
animal.
be- well, it's like we were like I mentioned back in episode 2.
Yeah.
It's just how's it that bunch of fucking cultures around the world have
Keep repeating.
lot of similar stories,
Yeah,
either
they're
similar
crazy.
or like identical.
Yeah.
Because we all think the same way.
we all
you
have
know,
the same-
in the sense
same
of like,
thoughts of
what
stuff.
does this mean, and what was the cause of it, and we tend to blame other things.
And
rather than-
a lot of these stories are kind
Shoes.
of like the kindergarten game telephone. You know,
Yeah.
you tell one person, they'll tell another, but with a little difference, and eventually there's multiple people with the same concept of a story, but it's
Yeah.
just different things that happen.
and they all believe the first one that they were told.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's but the thing is, the trip is how the fuck they're gonna translate it in different languages.
Oh yeah, that's well, yeah,
True.
and I don't know that even dates back to like the first religion, or like there's like within the sense of the culture is like the first ever evidence of like caveman making sculptures.
Yeah, the pictographs.
Yeah,
and
well,
everything like
the
that.
headless woman.
Yeah.
She's
Oh,
a voluptuous
yeah.
woman. It's always with no face or no head, no arms, no legs, but it's drawn like a voluptuous
Yeah.
woman who just had a baby, in a sense. And they either think that it's either the first religion that they ever came up with, and a lot of like Wiccans or witches believe in this one as well as the mother, or it was simply the caveman with his monkey brain wanting what he couldn't have. You know, you don't see women like that at the time, therefore that is the prize, you know?
Yeah, everybody wants that headless woman.
well, not so much headless woman, but the voluptuous.
Yeah.
'Cause
Hey, she
that
wants
was
us back.
strange.
Yeah, they want the good stuff.
But then all the cultures, and I read up on the Wendigo, like the sensation or the hunger, it gets so much that there's some that even grow in size. No matter how much they eat, they'll get bigger so it doesn't feed them.
Yeah, like right
And they
here.
show them as big as mountains
Yeah.
at some points.
Like right here, it says, though all of the descriptions of the creature vary slightly, the Wendigo is generally said to have glowing eyes, long yellowed fangs, and overly long tongues. Most have a sallow yellowish skin, but others are said to be matted with hair. They are tall and lanky and are driven by a horrible hunger. But how would a person grow to become one of these strange creatures? How do you think? Look, because it says, according to the lore, the Wendigo is created whenever a human resorts to cannibalism to survive. In years past, such a practice was possible, although still rare, as many of the tribes and settlers in the region were cut off by the bitter snows and ice of North Woods. Unfortunately, eating another person to survive was sometimes resorted to, and thus the legend of the Wendigo was created.
Yeah, and that could have been, from the PTSD and then just losing their mind. Therefore, they look ravenous or crazy or like the wolf.
Because how many people do you think back in those days were like schizophrenic but didn't know it, and they were just looked at as they were crazy because all of a sudden they would have like split personalities.
Very true. Yeah,
that.
nothing's
So
changed.
they would think,
we just put labels.
they would think like, oh my god, this guy's possessed.
Exactly.
Or this woman's possessed, or stuff like that. And they wouldn't know because there's no scientific.
I would think that half the people that burned in the witch trials were just a little,
Well, if you're going to talk about the witch trials, I think it's not the fact of mental disabilities. I just think some of them, but it's like, Aaron, you're a witch.
Yeah, and then you're
yeah. It was more of the Simpsons. Sure, your clothes are wider than mine. Get her.
A lot of times it was because the husband would be cheating on his wife, and then all of a sudden the mistress would come. Yeah, the mistress would
adultery.
Yeah, so the mistress would come up and try to say something. He'd, oh, she's a witch. She's speaking in tongues and blah blah blah. And
otherwise, he'd be prosecuted for it.
Oh
yeah.
The whole Scarlet Letter thing.
Yep.
Oh man, I'm glad I don't live those times anymore. I'm really glad I don't.
Yeah, but then another thing, like they call it the spirit of the Wendigo, and it's more of a sense like a spirit nymph, or just a supernatural force that roams the woods.
Yeah.
And once you do something like eat a fellow human being or become
like
so evil in your heart, then it opens up that pathway to be possessed by the Wendigo.
Yeah,
and
because
that's what happens.
doesn't it also say that since it was a human who ate somebody else who committed cannibalism, they become the Wendigo. So if you kill just the body, the spirit is still living. So
they jump.
Yeah, they jump into another body. So they possess somebody else, and then from there they wait until their hunger just drives them until they could do
until they die.
Yeah, until they eat somebody else, and then that's when it surfaces and just takes over completely.
Well, yeah, it's like killing someone is like, bam, I shot you. It's like, but like eating the force, pretty much like
that's how you're consuming the life.
Yeah, you're consuming the life of someone. It's like I think that's kind of different on the aspect of the story or the legend, however you guys want to take it, of the Wendigo. It's like, bam, I took your life. Technically, you didn't. The freaking the contraptions you used took the person's life. But but if you're like stab, I'm having fucking.
But that's the thing with the Wendigos is that they enjoy the hunt more than anything.
Well, yeah.
Like they don't even like one because once they eat they get hungry anyway. So that's not really in order for them to enjoy themselves. They love hunting. And they're even known to mimic human voices. To lure you out. Yeah.
Oh, it's like it's funny. It's like the movie fucking Ravenous. It's like when the guy showed up. He's like, I need help. All these people died. Blah blah blah. Couldn't do anything to save him, so I ran away to save myself. And he takes him back to the cave. Right. So two guys go in there while everybody else is standing behind. Right. And all of a sudden, it's like guy just fucking splits, and he's like digging frantically, and they're like, oh wait, there's a hole within the cave with a rope. So they go down with the rope, and then they see skeletons just strung up, type of deal thing. they're like, shit. And then he fucking come out and say, it's homeboy. And all of a sudden he shoots one guy, stabs the guy in the fucking spine, and then, yeah.
Yeah, I have to check this out.
It's a dark, humorous movie.
It's not, yeah, I've seen it and I don't remember much from it, but it's not like if you're expecting a werewolf or anything. You're not going to see that. Yeah. It's more
actually, it does have some
the
funny
internal
parts
monster within.
That makes it seem even better.
Yeah, it has dark humor to it. So,
but the actor is the blonde dude who played Bison.
Yeah, no, not Bison.
One point. The second one with Chung Lee.
Was it him?
Yeah.
All I know is the main bad guy from Walking Tall.
There you go.
Oh, yeah,
that's that guy.
That guy?
Yeah.
Okay, him. He's in it, but he dies.
Oh, thanks. Spoiler alert.
I
don't know.
But yeah, I don't know. The Wendigo seems pretty crazy, but I can see that being the foundation for other stories. Kind of like the foundation for zombies.
Yeah.
With just a virus infecting you and it driving somebody else and you go infecting somebody else and doing all that stuff.
Well, it depends on what culture on zombies you're talking about.
True.
Because doesn't that range from the Vodun?
Yeah, well, the Haitians from I don't want to offend anyone. Fuck it, I'm not politically correct. So, anyways, it depends really. But I know it's more on the voodoo side type of deal thing because I know they make a concoction, but I know one of the main ingredients is pufferfish toxin. Is one of them. Yeah. So and
isn't that is pufferfish toxin similar to oh my god, what are those things called? Little spiky ball things.
Yeah, it's
urchins.
Urchins. Yeah.
I don't think it's poisonous.
Is it similar? Because I know some sea urchins have poison.
Some could be, but I think.
And then when you step on them,
I think the pufferfish, that's one of the most deadly.
Yeah.
Well,
that's why if you're eating, you have to cut it a certain way.
Yeah.
Be a professional.
Which I'm about to correct you because this is one of my fucking pet peeves. It's venomous, not poisonous. Poison is ingested. Venom is injected by a hypodermic needle or
fangs.
Yeah. Sorry. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. I'm sorry.
I know you can drink venom. You can't drink poison.
Exactly. So,
unless you have ulcers, then you're screwed.
Yeah.
The more you know.
The more you know.
See, we're not just paranormal.
Right? Fucking National Geographic's here. But yeah, I know they said one of the major concoctions for
40 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I think so, right?
Yeah.
No, we're at 32.
All right, cool. Okay, not bad. But like I said, back to the whole fucking zombie thing. Since now we're jumping into zombies, a weird transition. But anyway,
it's similar.
Yeah,
Cannibalism type stuff.
But I've watched a documentary on it, and you've seen these people that quote unquote zombies.
Yeah.
That they're fucking brain dead, but they function. Type of deal thing, and it's legitimately fucking creepy looking though.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, ugh.
What do you think of the drastic change though of the appearance of it? How it can be really where you can only see it up front when it's facing you, and from the side you can't really see it, opposed to it being this hairy beast thing. Because they say the height can be anywhere from a little bit taller than the average man. So I'll say 6'3" to 15 feet. That's what they say.
That's crazy.
Well, then the reason the others that are like a deer human hybrid with antlers. So I don't know. It depends, because then there's those other ones that were saying that the more they eat, the bigger they get.
Yeah. So their hunger never
ends.
ends.
What's going back to the fucking movie is they even say it is
there's no beating the hunger.
There's no beating the hunger. You have to eat.
Yeah, which also relates to zombies because they're always hungry.
Yeah.
They're always feeding.
Oh well. Zombies is a primal need though. It's they're.
That's the only function.
That's the only function they have. It's pretty much
Resident Evil said it pretty well.
Yeah. Well, they're fucking animals if you think about it. Zombies are born
consume, survive, eat.
Consume and survive, and that's it.
True. Whereas the Wendigo seems like it likes to fuck with you and do it because
it enjoys it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because it gives into that inner beast part of itself, so it becomes possessed, and then
But I think it doesn't say that the only circumstance is if you resort to cannibalism and there's a way for you to actually not eat that meat, then there's
no loopholes. If you do it,
you're fucked.
Even if you're
there's no loopholes.
300 miles away.
No.
And
those are always the
and
stories.
You're a day. No, because they said there's this guy who I forgot his name. He was like 25 miles away from his camp or something. And so he could have made that thing within a day or two to save his family. But instead, he just decided to kill and eat his. Oh no, his son died, and then he ate his son. Mm-hmm. Then while the other ones died off, they ate them too.
Mm-hmm.
But what if you're like 300 or 400 miles away from any civilization, and that's the only thing you have?
It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't give
it
a
doesn't
fuck.
discriminate.
Yeah.
It's like
you don't do it.
It's
that's
like,
the thing. That's
Jose.
I'm saying because there's villages now to this day that they still resort to cannibalism.
Well, the thing with cannibalism is that like the uncharted, like especially in South America, they really do it just to gain strength from their fucking enemies. Mm-hmm. Type of deal. And that's and even history says, oh, they did this. They went to war. Enemies. They destroy the enemies. They're fearsome warriors. So we're gonna eat them so we can be more fiercer.
And where do you think the ideas of like vampires came in?
Exactly.
Because there was always stories of like the idea of blood being life force. Mm-hmm. And then we've seen other rituals like the Aztec, the Mayans, everything we talked about here where they consume blood on some level. And then people from an outside point of view that don't understand it or more educated or, more civilized saw them as monsters.
There's a tribe, and I think it's somewhere in Africa, I think, where you actually see them. I don't know if you guys have seen Wild Boys or not in the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where they're with this tribe who they do practice cannibalism. Like they're drinking stuff out of a human skull. Mm-hmm. They're like they bite you and suck your blood just because they enjoy it. Mm-hmm. That's their whole thing. But I don't know.
Well, it's Africa. Depending on where they're, they might not have as much.
Well, besides even the fact is in Africa, it was like in every culture, blood is like the main central thing of like life. Mm-hmm. And
that's what runs through us.
Yeah, it's like even from like horrible medical practices of bloodletting.
Yeah.
So it's like blood is like the central thing. So even like fucking what's his name, Vladimir. Mm-hmm. Fucking he was
like
the original Dracula.
What was the Duchess? What was her name?
Yeah, no, it was Vladimir, bro.
No. The Duchess is a woman.
The Duchess, yeah. Oh, she bathed
or something like that.
Yeah, something, but she bathed in the blood of virgins.
Yeah.
Well, Dracula was just like a monster. Like he was just one of those guys who just did not care at all. He would go out and kill.
Well, he was famous in his town because everybody that was spiked on his front lawn were the enemies.
Yeah.
Well, because he was kidnapped as a kid.
He would kill his enemies and put them off on a.
I would do that.
People looked on him, like the people that lived around. He
spilled so much blood that people would actually think that he would be drinking their blood and stuff. But
I think that evolved from the stories. From everything I heard, though, like he was more like just think about it today. If like with Donald Trump and everything, it's like the equivalent.
He is a Wendigo
of putting Muslims in the front yard and being like, look, I got him.
Well, here's the thing. But
he'd be killed so fast.
But
back then, they're crazy.
They're like,
that was another source of fun for them.
Yeah,
like don't mess with this guy.
But here's the thing, though. But if you want to actually take it on like an actual aspect of fucking Wendigos in a modern time era where we are now, major corporations.
Yeah, they're eating away at us.
Yeah, they're eating away with us. They're fucking taking over small businesses and blah, blah, blah.
They've jumped it up a notch, though, because they have us fucking they're just luring us in with everything.
All I'm saying...
They tickle our fancies. We're like, yes, please. More technology. Give
Black
us more.
Friday. The siren song. Because next thing you know, you're going in, you're rushing in, and then you just...
I'm sorry, I don't do Black Fridays. I hate people too much, but I like you guys, though.
Online shopping.
That's true.
So this talks about how there was at least one Wendigo hunter.
Oh, this is a good case.
It was the most famous Wendigo hunter was a Cree Indian named Jack Fiddler. Mm-hmm. He claimed to kill at least 14 of the creatures in his lifetime, although the last murder resulted in an imprisonment at the age of 87. Damn, he went 87.
Damn.
He lived to be 87 and just killing Wendigos.
I want to meet this
Well,
guy. I wish I could.
He said they were Wendigos.
In October 1907, Fiddler and his son, Joseph, were tried for the murder of a Cree Indian woman. They both pleaded guilty to the crime, but defended themselves by stating that the woman had been possessed by the spirit of a Wendigo and was on the verge of transforming into one entirely.
Holy
According
crap.
to their defense, she had to be killed before she murdered other members of the tribe.
Holy shit.
So do you think this guy was a real hunter, or was he just a murderer and he was bringing his son
in? He was a sociopath and he had the perfect way to get away with it.
It's like, son,
see, that's the thing though.
join the family business.
With all these like folklores and stuff that we have no real proof of, which is why we're doing this, to try to find the truth. But it also gives an excuse to people who do things like that.
Well, like, I think it's funny as hell that the guy who was supposedly fighting Wendigos was more like the Wendigo than anybody else.
Yeah,
exactly. But
which don't you think
enjoyed it?
Don't you think it kind of tends to turn that way eventually?
I think, I think these stories draw out the actual monsters we're talking about.
They get so obsessed with certain things that they start eventually thinking that everything is one of them.
But my thing is that,
or maybe he himself with his bloodlust became possessed.
But here's the thing. In actual reality, like in fucking supernatural type of thing, the TV show, are there really fucking hunters out there? Fucking doing obviously this fucking 84 fucking motherfucker proves it, but
I would say there are hunters.
I would imagine, it's like more in the sense of supernatural, where they look like psychopaths themselves.
Well, the thing is, though, the psychopaths don't think they're fucking crazy. Everybody else is around them.
That's why I feel comfortable, because sometimes I think you're a little crazy.
Yeah, high five!
I think everyone has a little crazy. Nobody is normal, because what really is normal?
Exactly.
All I gotta say,
Normal's
voice number 9 in my head says he likes you.
Number 10 in mine says coo.
7 says fuck you.
Well, fuck him.
Number 1's been asleep since like second grade.
but being dead, and I'm being dead serious about it. Is like, if this story proves that this guy from the Cree Nation, it was hunting, quote unquote, or actual Wendigos. What makes you not believe that there's actual fucking hunters out there actually legitly hunting, quote unquote, real vampires, werewolves, or Wendigos?
Even though I believe it, I'm a skeptic at heart.
Right?
I'll never believe it until I see it.
That's where I'm at too. But I know if I see it, I'm gonna fucking die, because I know one of those things are gonna kill me.
Yeah, but then you're
real.
Right, though.
What if that happens? What if that happens every time, where somebody runs into them, like, oh my god, it's real, and then they just die.
So like, fuck you.
Why is every picture or video of these things always blurry?
Well, if they're not blurry, people still don't believe it. Because
I say Bigfoot's a blurry motherfucker.
Right, just got a big 6-foot blurry guy.
Yep. It's like, oh look, he looks pixelized.
Pickles.
He looks picklized. Yeah. He's been sitting in vinegar for all this time. He's picklized.
Oh my god, that's too funny. Why can't I picture that in my head right now?
A giant pickled monster walking around.
Pickled Bigfoot. We're gonna come up with art.
Oh god.
Oh gosh.
Pickled Bigfoot.
Matt's gonna listen to this. He's like, what the fuck?
Oh, he won't listen to this. He's
too scared.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, but
under second,
yeah, we are gonna start getting more stories for you guys, like live actual accounts of that people have experienced or seen or witnessed.
Yeah, we've been actually getting some calls in, so we're just lining them up and making sure we put on the best ones for you guys.
Yeah.
Unless you guys have fucking stories to tell us,
bring
them in.
And any questions, just bring them our way. Send us a personal message on Facebook or Twitter, or
you can always follow me on Instagram, acidic_Aaron.
And then likewise for me on Instagram, the Great Dipulio, _Great_Dipulio.
Yeah, mine's Hooray for Jose.
And then to tell your stories to us, just go ahead and give this number a call.
Yeah,
leave a message with us, letting us know for the hunt for the paranormal. The number is 714-684-1652. Again, that number is 714-684-1652.
And warning you guys now, we will play the message. So
if you guys want advice, let us know. Anything. If you want to know what it is, if you want me to research and see if someone else went through the exact same thing you do, I will find that other story.
Yeah.
Or if you want a tarot card reading to try to find out what it meant.
Yeah.
Ooh,
and also too, if you want to, share one of your stories and you're not afraid to be on camera,
We'll bring you down.
Yeah, you can either come down so we can talk to you a little bit and try to help you out there, or maybe we can try to explain some stuff. We're not professionals at all, but
no,
we're just trying to figure things out as we go too.
And I'm not a Wendigo, so I won't eat you.
Yeah,
I like to think of myself.
I've always been into this stuff. It's amazing. It's interesting.
Well, that's
there's so much to talk about in it.
Oh yeah, it's like going back to the very first episode that we mentioned. Don't feel like you guys have to hide or anything. We won't find you guys that you're crazy because I'm crazy, so we're good.
To each his own. What the hell is crazy?
Yeah.
To one yeah. Everybody thought we were crazy for believing in certain the idea, like just the idea of positive thinking can make an actual change. They now have scientific proof that when people think positive, that actually has effects on the world.
Yeah.
So thought they were crazy. Fucking years ago, they said the world wasn't flat. They fucking killed those people for that.
Don't get started on that because we're gonna have some.
There's still people that believe it.
Yeah,
and I don't call them crazy. To each his own. As long as you don't hurt other people.
Have you heard our boss?
Believe what you want. What if you go to the?
Have you heard our boss talk about this fucking shit?
Yeah, but he talks about it too.
He's a flatlander.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god.
You gotta slap the shit out of him out of that.
But yeah, clearly we don't think you're crazy if you believe in that.
Except for our boss.
No, but hey, who knows? I've never been to space. I haven't seen it.
Exactly.
Me either.
Have you? Like,
It's true.
which it's a good argument for there. Like, have you been to space? Have you seen it?
No.
Or what if you go
Do you know
into
what?
the one multiverse that the world is actually
You know
flat?
what I
Who
just
knows?
realized?
I don't
That'd
care.
be weird.
You know, I realized about the whole fucking space thing.
What?
About Matt's fucking theory about the flat Earth.
What?
He can't say shit because he's afraid to go to space.
Well,
I'm
he
afraid to
also
go to
doesn't-
space, too.
He doesn't believe we landed on the moon.
That's a conspiracy theory, bro.
I know, yeah.
Maybe we'll have one episode later down in the future about conspiracies because I can go on for days.
I got a friend.
Or
and
maybe
he's
we'll
ridiculous with
actually
it.
jump on my podcast and talk conspiracies because that's usually what I do.
Yeah, I'm fucking down. Like the fluoride in the water is actually because fluoride is a main ingredient for antidepressants.
Makes you, sheep.
Yep.
Brr. That's why you have to smoke that weed and break the chain.
I just drink booze.
I thought it was shrooms.
Well, didn't you watch a Cabin in the Woods? Why isn't it working on him? I don't know.
No.
What are you smoking? It seems to be counter-affecting.
I laugh so hard. I'm like, the stoner survives. See.
Oh my god. All right, guys.
All right, well, until next time.
Yeah, we're at 47, so I think it's good.
Yeah, we'll
All
keep
that
it short
stuff.
for this time.
Yeah, be sure, again, follow us on Instagram. I usually put up protection stuff. If you want to know which stones protect you, if you want to see cool pictures of horror stuff that we will be talking about,
Yeah.
find us.
And if you do share a story with us and you want to remain anonymous, just let us know and we won't mention your name.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Facebook messages.
Just let us know on anything.
Or even just on the message. Hey,
Yeah.
Yeah. And we will have the number up on our Facebook page and everything so you guys can contact us and tell us your stories and stuff. So, yeah. So, once again, I'm Jose.
Mike Padilla.
That's Acidic Aaron.
And we're the Hunt for the Paranormal podcast. So, thanks for listening.
All right, good night, guys. Love you guys.
Yeah.